Hello, I'm Ian Draycott. I live on the Doward and I live surrounded by 7 very good, very interesting Hereford Wildlife Trust reserves, and I'm always very happy to help the Trust out with keeping an eye on these reserves, and for that I get called a warden. Perhaps the flagship reserve is White Rocks, which I live nearby. But there's also Miner's Rest and Woodside, which join each other. A little further away is Lepping Stocks, and also quite famous is King Arthur's Cave, which is a local well-visited tourist site, but also a place with a lot of natural interest. So White Rocks Nature Reserve used to be originally obviously forest. Then there was a big limestone quarry. That quarry became a landfill site in the 1960s. It was then capped, and it was capped with some rather interesting soil, and this map shows the area where the landfill site was. And the soil has built up a rather special flora, and I think we'll show you some pictures of that flora. But there's also quite a nice area of mature woodland in the eastern part of the reserve, which merges into other parts of the calcareous land on the Doward. This is the central area of White Rocks Nature Reserve. It's very open ground, and as you can see, this time of year there's some lovely yellows from bird's foot trefoil, common rock rose, and the cinquefoil tourmentile complex as well, and they provide an excellent habitat for its flagship butterfly, which is the grizzled skipper, probably the only major place in Herefordshire where you get this nationally quite scarce butterfly. The other important food plant for grizzled skipper is the wild strawberry, which we can see here, a lovely little white plant. And at this time there's just a few small strawberries appearing as well. So this one is the bird's nest orchid, which you can see is lacking in the green chlorophyll, and that's because it doesn't use photosynthesis for its energy. It simply gets it from the leaf litter by using a different metabolic process. Next to this butterfly orchid there is the fleshy leaves of the meadow saffron, or sometimes called autumn crocus, and this plant is again quite unusual and not very common, because what it does is puts up its leaves to gain its energy in the spring, and then the leaves die back and you don't see any more of it until about August time, when you suddenly have these brilliant large pink flowers appear under the bracken, and no leaves at all, just a flower, and they're really quite pretty when you can see a group of them.